But this is St. Gabriel's. I know this is one of your hoods. But what I want you to know is that they are the dance champions. They have won continuously. So one of them has to get up and show us what their moves are at some point.
Surprise me.
Right. And here he is, none other than our mayor in his 27th town hall.
Thank you. Thanks so much. That's right. This is number 27. 27. How many did we do? We 27. How many? Who knows the number? You know, Mark? 38. Other town halls, a number of youth town halls, combination. Giving out two things before I chat. Did we give out, DJ, did we give out the magnets? So first the magnet, can you hold up, Sister Sherry? The magnets, we're going to give out magnets to put on your fridge. And also these money in your pockets and more. We want to talk about this a little later. First of all, it's good to be back here. You know, I knew you as a state senator. I knew you as the borough president, and in fact, even back when I was a police officer, this not only this church, but this older adult center, I know so well. And it's been a long journey, folks, a long journey. And who's the council member? Oh, I didn't even see you there. You know, you look like a staffer. How are you? Did you say hello to everyone? No, come on. You got to give it up for your councilwoman. You know, every time I see her, all she talks about is children. Former teacher, bringing that experience in. So let's say hello to everyone.
Good afternoon, St. Gabriel family. You know I had to brag how we are undefeated champion across the city for the dance contest. And we're going to show the mayor some moves. So good afternoon, everyone. Always happy to be here. Mayor, welcome to District 40 with all of your colleagues in government. Thank you for being here. And St. Gabriel, you know where my heart is. You know, I love y'all to pieces. I have an older mom who's 90 years old. So working and protecting older adults in the city along with New York City kids is a passion for me. So I got your back every day, all day. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for coming out. And so when I left you as the borough president and became the second mayor of color in the city, I inherited a city in 2022 where crime was soaring, unemployment was real. We were losing jobs. We had something called COVID. You know, we were knocking on doors, handing out face masks as the borough president to different residents. Our foster care children were not receiving the support they deserved. 600 to 700 were aging out every year, slipping through the cracks. We were not identifying dyslexia early in our school system. Our tourism was decimated. 237,000 migrants and asylum seekers came to the city. When you looked at where we were 2.5 years later, and if you want to say 3, we'll give you even 3, what did we accomplish? More jobs are in New York in the city's history. More small businesses in the city history. We're paying the college tuition of foster care children, giving them life coaches until they're 21 years old. We've built more housing in individual years in the history of the city. Moved more people out of shelters into permanent housing in individual years in the history of the city. More people are participating in our FEPS voucher program for housing in the history of the city. Paying off medical debt. Putting $30 billion back into the pockets of working class people. Low-income New Yorkers no longer pay income taxes now in this city. We removed income taxes. Increased the amount for individuals who are using Metro cards, what we call a reduced fare Metro card program. We have increased that. Built senior housing. Many people talk about it all the time. Passed the most comprehensive housing reform in the history of the city so we could have more housing in the city. Bond raters who do an analysis of how well you run cities looked at our city and raised our bond because how we manage crises after crisis after crisis. We took almost 23,000 illegal guns off the street. We have the lowest number of shootings and homicides in the first 6 months of this year in the history of the city. And the 7th month, the lowest number of shootings and victims of shootings in the history of the city. Transit this month has the lowest amount of crime in the recorded history of this city. 4.6 million riders, 4.6 million, only 5 felonies a day. We want to get rid of those 5, but think about that number, 4.6 million. But the piece I want to talk to you the most about before I start listening to your questions is immigration. Immigration. It is unbelievable how my entire record has been destroyed. Unbelievable. What I've done around the immigrant community as a police officer, as a state senator, and as the borough president, and as the mayor. There is no one who has embraced and understood the power of our immigrant population than I have. And because I fought to tell Washington they were wrong for having a porous border and having 4,000 migrants and asylum seekers come to our city a week, 16,000 a month at the highest level, that we had to food, feed, house, and clothe. We couldn't stop the buses from coming in. We couldn't even allow people to work like many of you and my family did to provide for ourselves. The federal government said you can't even allow them to work. I couldn't even allow them to volunteer and give them a stipend. They wanted to, a group of them came to me and said, hey, we would like to remove graffiti and do other things to show that we're happy to be here in the country. The federal government said you cannot do that. And because I had the audacity to say this is wrong and this should not be happening to us, it's costing us $7.7 billion. $7.7 billion with a B. I got hit hard. And let me tell you something. These last 15 months has been the hardest 15 months of my life. And I'm talking about as a police officer being shot at. I'm talking about living on the verge of homelessness. I'm talking about struggling with dyslexia. I'm talking about the struggles that I had. I never had a 15 months as hard as this. Because I saw all that I built up get destroyed. And particularly around this issue, the immigrant issue. You know, out of those 237,000 migrants and asylum seekers that came here in the city, not one child or family slept on the streets of the city of New York. And 90% of them are doing what you did. They're finding their way. Because that's what we do in this country. And so then, while President Trump was on the campaign trail, I never met President Trump. Never met him. He was on the campaign trail when that indictment came down on me, and he said, that's wrong what they're doing to him. That's wrong. And when he got elected, his Justice Department looked at the case and saw that it was wrong what they did. President Biden said the same thing. The Justice Department was politicized when he pardoned his son. Trump said it. I said it. Brian Benjamin. Many of you know who Brian Benjamin is? Brian Benjamin was the highest ranking African American in this state. They indicted him, destroyed his career. The same person who indicted me destroyed his career. The judge dismissed the charge. His career was destroyed, and it was over. And it's wrong, and it was wrong to happen. But to all of a sudden start to claim Eric is anti-immigrant. Those who have known me and know what I stand for know it's a lie. They know my history in this city of lifting up all people through my faith-based institutions, faith-based initiatives. They know who I am. And I serve this city well, not only as a police officer, but as a state senator, as the first person of color to be borough president, and now as your mayor. We turned this city around. They told me it was going to take me 5 years. We did it in 3.5 years. And the indicators are all there. And the same narrative, go back and look when David Dinkins was mayor. It's the same narrative you hear now. And so I'm happy that the Justice Department looked at my case. I was facing 33 years in prison. And go read the indictment. I called the fire department and say, can you go do a building inspection? How many times have you called your council person, have called me and asked me to call agencies? That's what we do. That's what we do. And so if the Justice Department say this is wrong and dismiss the charges, people say, well, you should not have done it. Let me tell you something. I remember my mother, back when I was a child, Mommy used to hit the numbers. And I would say, Mommy, you can't do that. She said, baby, be quiet. God uses who he uses. God uses who he uses. And I'm a child of God. And you don't know where your blessings come from. And all of you know that. Because at one time in your life, God used someone you didn't even expect where to come from. So I don't care who comes and give me the blessing that God gave me. God uses when he uses. When I was losing my sight with diabetes, and the doctor came into my life and told me how to reverse it. God uses who he uses when someone shot out my car window as a sergeant. God uses who he uses when families came to put food on our back porches when we were children. God has always used who he used when he is taking care of one of his children of God. God uses who he uses. And I'm not going to curse God. I'm going to thank God for using everyone who has been in my life that allowed me to come on this journey to be the second mayor of color in the greatest city on the globe. And I'm happy to continue to do that job. So why don't we open up to some questions? It's good to be back here. And I know you are good and hard on your questions, so feel free. How are you?
Good afternoon, Mayor Adams.
Yes, good afternoon.
I'm so glad that you came to St. Gabriel's. We welcome you. My name is Diane Sterling, and my question today is, why is it so hard for us single seniors to get an apartment? And why is the cutoff level for the monies, where the income is, like for one person, why the cutoff is like not like in my category, or I'm talking for the others, because we are low income, especially when we are retired. And lately I noticed that the price is 70-something thousand. You have to be working for like 80-something thousand a year. And it's too high, and it's like 13 years now I have been, I've applied for like an apartment with New York Connect, and it's like before my salary was too high, now it's too low, No, it's really frustrating. Since 2013 I've been trying to get an apartment, and it's really hurtful knowing you're in this country, and as a single person, you pay all these taxes, and, it's like the building, I see the apartments going up, all over the place. But because of the category, how they cut off the money level for that apartment, don't care how much the bill, it's not going to fall in my level. I will never get an apartment, and that is one of my deepest concerns. For this table, a lot of people here are seniors, and you could see, we could skip, we could run. Not everybody needs to be helped, like those, I think they have some apartments for, senior apartments for people who need help, I'm talking about people who could, they could do stuff for themselves, and that's my question. And one other thing is that this is the first time I'm seeing you up close, and you look more handsome than when I see you on TV. Yeah. Okay. So would you consider that? Would you go over that with your representative, please? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Let her talk more.
And And I do
No,
appreciate
okay.
all the stuff that you're doing.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I was one of those people who, like, got a group of people, we voted for you
Yes.
when you came into power a
Yes.
couple of years ago. And I hope this time you would win, right? That is why I'm here today, to make
Thank
sure
you.
a lot of people vote for you. But just remember us seniors.
Yes,
We are
yes.
important too,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And it's obvious you are single because you were hitting on me. You know, and that's such an important question. And so here's the dynamic. And I was using it the other day, and someone said to me, when I said 1.4% vacancy rate, they said, okay, I don't quite understand what that means. So in our city right now, we have 1.4% vacancy rate. That means if you look at all of our apartments that we have in the city, and you ask, well, how many of them are vacant that we can move into, it's only 1.4%. 1.4%. The demand for housing has reached such a level of crisis, but we were not building enough. We have an inventory problem. And so when we built, like we had an apartment in the Bronx, I think we had something like 500 units. You get 30, 40,000 applicants because there's just not enough units. So what we had to do, we had to say we have to build more. And we did. That's what the city of Yes was about. We're now, for the first time in the history of this city, every community board must build a little more housing because the stock has dropped so much. But while we're looking for the future, we're also moving at a fast pace right now. We developed 2,400 units out in Willers Point. We are announcing new buildings and new apartments are coming online at a rapid pace. Then we're looking at how do we do what they call ADUs to build. I'm gonna come back to you to build more in the spaces that we're having. I had all the agencies look at every piece of land that we own and say, how do we build housing on that land? The Flushing Airport, it was vacant since 1984. We're now going to build thousands of units of houses. We're building a new community there. So we have to start building more. And then we have to look at senior housing, which is something that's huge for us to make sure that our seniors can afford to live in the city that we're in. Now, remember, affordable is a terminology that people throw around, but it's for everyone. The seniors, it must be affordable for them. It can't be too high and too low. It must be affordable for my teachers and my accountants so they can be in the city. It must be affordable for my new families that are coming back to the city. It must be affordable for your college students. Some of you have children who graduate from college. They're just starting out in a job. It must be affordable for them. That's why there are different income levels and bands. And it gets frustrated. We fought to get affordable housing in the city through the state. But now if your husband and wife working full-time at McDonald's, do you know you'll move out of the low-income band, and it becomes challenging for you also. So it's a real challenge, but it starts with building more housing. We have to build more housing because supply and demand. If the supply is low, the demand is high, and the prices go high. But that's the problem we're facing. We don't have enough units. Go ahead, ma'am. You want to say something else? Give her the microphone.
Okay, there's this. Could there be another system whereby they could give out the houses? Because it's not everybody lucky in passing or winning the lottery. Because okay, how much houses you build, some people would not be lucky to win the lottery housing. You know, so that's another thing too. So that's my problem. And I've been applying since 2013. That's when my mother died. Yes, 2013. And it's because of this lotto system, you know. And if you're a little like maybe $500, a little extra on your income, you're being rejected because they're saying now that your money, your income is over what they're asking for. You know, that's another problem. You know, you really need to look into this, you know, because it's really difficult. I've been, you know, I seen so much building going up, and you know, it's like nothing, and I'm really, really, really frustrated. It really hurting, you know, because I'm in this community and I see buildings going up right around, but I don't fall in that category.
Okay, two things. One, you were saying there should be would you say about instead of the lottery, you said there should be something?
Yeah, because I applied through the New York City.
Connect.
Connect 2, I think.
Housing
they
Connect.
Upgraded. I was on 1, now with the upgrade to 2. But still, and before, like, they would say, like, okay, you work for too much. Now I retired. I used to work at New York Presbyterian, had a good job there as a secretary. Now I retired with COVID. And my money level went down.
Right.
So now I still can't, you know.
Yeah, and that's
and I didn't want to buy a house because I had other plans. But I had plans didn't work out. But I've been in New York City so long. I've been living here over 30-something years. You know, so it's really hurtful. And I would like you to pay attention to that, please.
You know, we are focused on that, and it's first we have to build more.
Yeah, I understand you're building more, but that doesn't mean do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. Tell me. Okay, so let's. Cause this is important. Because this is an important question that is asked often. So I want all of us to fully understand this, because it's asked so much.
And I really need to get something because my landlord died 2 months ago. I've been living here over 20 years. He has died, and up to now, I haven't heard from the son. I think he wanted to sell the building. I'm living in a building that housed 6 different tenants. It was okay before, you know, but now the son is selling the building. He hasn't even come for the rent for the past 3 months, so I know he's selling the building.
Yeah, that's a long time to wait.
So as an elderly person, I'm in jeopardy, you know.
Yes.
Because rent is so expensive now.
So let's. This is important. I want all of us to understand this, because if we don't, we'll fall for any fast-talking person. We have an inventory problem. When you don't have enough housing to address the need from housing, it does 2 things. It overtaxes our homeless system, and it drives the price up, because it's just basic supply and demand. You don't have enough. If you don't have enough houses, so you're saying, Eric, I want to be able to move into a place. I need places. I can't throw people out of places. I need places that we can put online, and that's what we have done at a very fast rate, putting property online. Yes. She said give her a call if something comes up. You know what? If I jump the line and come after you, I'm gonna have the FBI at my door again. You know, that's what happens. You want to add to that? Okay. So you got a contact. He's gonna speak. Yeah. Okay. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. How are you?
Hi. Oh.
Good to see you.
Good afternoon, Mayor. My question is, older adults want to continue working and may need to keep working, but so many job programs are under threat from the federal government. What can the city do to ensure these programs still exist to serve older adults looking for employment?
And we love that, you know, because you're right. Older adults are living more healthier lives, and they still want to use their experience. And I know we have a couple of programs. Who's going to tell me about it? The queen of older adults.
The older adult. You're right. We're really concerned about these cuts. Right now, what we're negotiating with the city is that the city continue the program. And we have 3 programs that this mayor runs for older adults. One of them has been a long-term program for low-income older adults called the Senior Employment Program. We are working right now with OMB to make sure that we can continue that at least through the end of the year. We also have another program that was designed under this administration called Silver Stars, where we bring back retirees, city retirees, who want to come back, talent, ability, still want to earn a little bit of money, but don't want to work full time. So we bring them back. We're again working with our city agency to make sure that that program continues as we move forward. So it is really, I mean, one of his signature programs when he first came in was Jobs for All, and all included older adults. And so that is a commitment that we're seriously working on. We're addressing it as we speak. Someone back there is looking at it so that we could make sure that they are continued, right? Thank you.
Love to keep you working, you know. And you know what's interesting, there's a lot of jobs now that are remote jobs. And so you can actually work from home, carrying out the job and function. And many of you have those experiences, you know, so you should also look at that.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to say,
Yep.
And one of the things that we also do with our partners in technology is that we have older adult programs that teach technology so people can be upskilled, but also so that you can know about FaceTime and all of that stuff that I'm still learning, so you can be in touch with your family. So that there are opportunities to make sure that your skills are refreshed. And it's a program that we have in partnership, and we do a lot with DYCD, but also with our Office of Technology. So it's ever present on his mind and on this administration mind about the need for skills and work jobs for older adults.
Well said. How are you? How you been?
Oh, Mr. Mayor.
Good to see you.
Remember, worked together under Chief Bratton in the 90s.
Yes, yes.
These facilities, but
You're on a perpetual construction site. Every time I see you, have that hard hat.
well, because I've visited 2 sites so far and I have 1 more to go, Mr. Mayor. But anyway, I want to add a little bit to that affordable housing
Yes.
issue. One of the issues is that there are outside developers that are making harassing phone calls and engaging in a lot of fraudulent practices to steal housing from people, especially in Bedford-Stuyvesant as well as in Bronxville area. I have a lot of clients that either have lost their properties or about to lose their properties, and when they do that, they renovate the properties without following all of the regulations, and then they raise the rent and rent it to people, other people coming from outside for exorbitant prices. So that housing, part of the housing solution lies in zoning and planning, and I'll get to that in a minute, as well as fraudulent practices by some of the outside developers. Some of them don't even live in this country. I know some of them because as a registered architect practicing in New York, I still practice, as like you said. I am familiar with these issues, and also when they want to do work in the building. Last week I walked 6 floors up in a building in the Bronx because the elevator has been out for like about 3 months, and the tenant, who is an elderly gentleman, I was told to tell them that I am from the insurance company, not that I was doing some asbestos inspection for them to he was throwing the tenant out so as to rent it to somebody else. These are some of the practices that are going on. Developers are faking accidents in front of people's properties. They are making rude phone calls, harassing phone calls, and they are paying existing tenants to stop paying rent so that the property owner will lose the property, and they will foreclose on the property and then rent it out to somebody else without even meeting all of these regulations because they have friends down in the buildings department that are doing questionable stuff. And there are many more I can talk about. So I will send some communication to the advocate here in the future. But it's good to see you, sir. I've been campaigning very hard for your fourth election, and I'm campaigning hard for you now too. So.
Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah, and going back to even the question that you raised, a lot of the buildings that we're seeing, if they need zoning changes, if they want to build more than what they are able to build, we're able to negotiate that through the council, your councilwoman, your council person. And if they want to build higher than they can, that's how we are able to get on private property. That's how we're able to get more housing units. But if they're building without any, if it's just as of right, we do not have any authorization to say what the rent cost could be or what they do inside their building when it comes down to apartment. But if they want to build higher, we're able to attach onto it how many units of affordable housing would be on those units. So some of the buildings you're seeing is just as a right. We can't tell a person who's not asking the city for anything what his rent cost would be. Where we get to leverage that is if they want to build higher than what they're allowed to do. But back to your question, we have been hearing complaints of deed fraud, of people harassing tenants. And so our units go in and they conduct investigations on that to make determination, and the fines are stiff. And the district attorney here, Eric Gonzalez, has been doing an amazing job of going after deed fraud and when people attempt to take someone's property illegally. And that's something that Commissioner Stewart has been doing. Fraudulent practices, people focus on older adults and many of these schemes, and you have to really be careful. We're going to be going around. I don't know if you did it here, Commissioner. Next Thursday? So he's going to be doing a whole series around fraud, what to look for. Next Thursday, his team is going to be here to do that. Okay? Where am I going? How are you, ma'am?
Good afternoon, Comrade Mayor.
Thank you.
My name is Waveney Griffith. My problem is, many older adults, it's similar to hers, we would like to remain in our apartment because we've been living there for years. But our problem is we cannot afford to pay the complete rent. So I'm just asking for assistance to pay our rent, to pay our national grid, and to pay our Con Edison. Just a little assistance. We don't want to move to go in those Section 8 houses with too many people around us. We live in a house that just has like 4 families. So we would like to remain there peacefully. Just a little rent. We don't want to move. We can cook. We can do everything. When we need more, we will ask for more. Please,
yes, ma'am.
assist us with our rent.
Yes.
Thank you.
So who's going to tell me about Dree and Scree? All right. Yeah. Huh? Hold on. Let's find out. And we can find out how it's not working. Go ahead.
So the city has in your case, the senior citizen rent increase exemption. There's also a disabled rent increase exemption, where if you meet the qualifications and it's the income limit is $50,000 for the whole household. So you, your spouse, your kid, whoever lives in the apartment, $50,000. If you meet the requirements and if you join the program, the city pays any increase in rent. It's frozen. It's rent freeze. So whatever your current level is will stay your level. Will stay your rent for as long as you live in that unit, and the city will pay any increase in your rent. So it sets you. You're able to manage whatever your current situation is, but it means that your rent will go up. Your situation will get harder. We don't have programs for like Con Ed, but covering part of your rent is for most people a huge burden. So The income limit again is 50,000. The age is 62. So if your spouse, if somebody in the household is going to be 62 by the end of the year, you apply for SCRIE, SCRIE, Senior Citizen Rent Increase Exemption, and exactly what you asked the mayor, the city does pay part of your rent, which hopefully makes other bills and the rest of life more manageable for you going forward.
The important part of that is that this administration has been canvassing the city and getting people to apply for SCRIE through our PEU unit. The earlier you apply, the sooner your rent gets frozen and the better it is. So we have been, this administration has been going around canvassing to get as many people enrolled in SCRIE. And even if you're a little bit over, enroll anyway, because we're looking at legislation to see if we can change some of those levels. So you got to be in it. It's like the lotto. You got to be in it to win it.
Yes. You said, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
As the commissioner said, and you can go to your council member also to apply, but happy to help you while we're here. The longer you're in it, the more beneficial it is. Some people join and the rent guidelines board raises rent by whatever, 2%, 3%. And they say, why this isn't worth it? Why am I part of this? But if you're in it for 5, 10, 15 years, however long you're going to stay in that apartment, it compounds. It becomes more and more valuable, and the savings becomes more significant as time goes on.
Yes, I've been on SCRIE. I've been on SCRIE since 2014, and I live in an apartment building. But my rent is $1,134, and my money comes from Social Security. How much am I making Social Security? You see, so I have to do something about this SCRIE. It's not working.
Now, you're in SCRIE now, right?
Yes.
Is your rent frozen?
It's frozen, but it's frozen such high amount.
But that goes back to what we're saying. The earlier you get in it, so the example that was just given reinforced what you were saying. The earlier you get in it, the goal is to freeze your rent. You don't want it to keep going up. You wanted to add something?
I just, if your financial situation changes, there is an opportunity to recalculate. So if perhaps someone passes away, or you lose a job, or you retire and you're not going to work anymore, so you have your income limit is going to go down and stay down for the rest of the time in the apartment, there is an opportunity to recalculate based on your income.
Okay. It's an opportunity to recalculate. So really, the moral of this conversation and hearing what was just stated, find out what resources are available. We leave so much money on the table that resources are available from SNAP, Cash Assistant Program, SCRIE, DREE. There's just so many things that the city is doing, and it's important to find out what resources are available for me. And like your recalculation, you may be able to recalculate and bring down the cost of that SCRIE. You're in the program, your rent is frozen. You was in the program since how long? Since 2014. That's 20 years. 10 years. I'm bad at math like the other guy. That's 10 years. So imagine if you were not in SCRIE, every year getting that increase in your rent. So you save by being in SCRIE. So find out all of these resources that you're available, everything from reduced fare Metro card. Some of you may have medical debt, number one cause of bankruptcy. We are excusing medical debt. Some of you may be low income that you should not be paying income taxes. Some of you may live in NYCHA or Section 8, where we are paying for high-speed broadband. We need to, in order to survive this, it's not a one act. It's the accumulation of all the resources that we have and that we are giving to you. That is how we're going to bring down the cost of living in this city.
Mr. Mayor,
Okay.
I want
Yes.
to give folks one more piece of information for this. So apply for the programs, apply soon. Once you're in the program, I want to let you know of another protection the city has for you, which is protection against source of income discrimination. So once you're in a rental assistance program, your landlord can't treat you differently. They can't stop making repairs. They can't try to kick you out of the apartment. If they do, you reach out to us, the Commission on Human Rights. We'll investigate and we'll open up a case.
Right. The other thing that's really important for you to know, and I think the mayor has alluded to this earlier, because we know that the earlier you're in it, there's a lot of programs that we have left on the table. He has started a whole campaign of know your benefits. And so we go to different neighborhoods at different times. I know last week we had one in Harlem. We go to different neighborhoods and we canvass that community with all of the benefits. So I don't know when the next one's going to be here.
We'll find out.
All right, we'll find out. But we're doing that throughout the city, and that's going to go on through the rest of this summer, so that people could know exactly what we have and what you're not availing yourself of.
And that's what, that's what this card that we just handed out, everything from affordable health care, eviction prevention, child care, discounted Omni cards, home emergency, home energy assistance, talking about Con Ed and others, rental assistance. There's just so much more on that is offered. I mean, you see this little box up here in the corner, QR code. Do you know how to use this QR code? Huh? Everybody knows how to use it? How you doing? Good to see you. So if you put your camera on top of this, a little yellow box will open. You click on it, and it will take you to a website. All right, good to see you. You know that? So this QR code will lead you to a website, and we should do a real training on QR codes. But all of these programs are available to you. Take advantage of it, because as you stated, it's your tax dollars. Your tax dollars are paying for these programs, and this is how you get your tax dollars back. Okay, where am I? I'll come to you. How are you, ma'am?
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Good
My
to see
name is
you.
Magdalene Ellis.
Yes.
Is like everybody
Just
said.
put your mic up.
The vote for you. I did vote for you in the first election.
Yes.
But
It's all good. I'm earning your vote again.
oh yes, and you're gonna get it again. No problem with that. My original question was already asked, but I have another one here for you.
Yes.
This really doesn't pertain to me, but it's pertain to my mother. She's 90 years old. She's not here. I want to know, why should the people in Brooklyn, I'm talking about sanitation now, why the people in Brooklyn has to buy the brown garbage can, whereas other people get theirs free. They didn't have to pay for it. My other question is, she has the blue garbage can.
Yes.
Not the one that they have now, but the original one. They have covers. They are good. And sanitation is telling her she cannot use it. She has to get the garbage can that they have, the 55 gallons garbage can. And I need to know, is that possible? Is that right?
She has the one with the lid on it. She has the one with the lid. The garbage can she has the lid.
It has a lid on it. It has covers. It's just that it's not like the new ones that they have now. The 55 gallon. They say that the one that she has is too small. She needs to get the 55 gallon garbage can.
Anybody from DSNY? Let me look at that. Right. Two things. The cost of the garbage cans, we're looking at, because they did a different style of them, so we're looking at that. We're going to try to get the money to pay for that, but it's not Brooklyn has to pay and Queens doesn't. That's not the way it was reported. But we're looking at the issues around. I think it's $14 million we have to find to make sure that the different sizes.
Okay.
But if I'm of the mindset, if you have a garbage can where it's the lid, it fits all the requirements, and it's doing a job, I don't see why you have to change it, but let me find out. Let me find out what the rule is.
And
You know,
she was told yesterday, say it's too small. She needed 55 gallons.
let me. Where's DJ? DJ, can you just do a quick check on that for me? Yeah, hold on one moment, man. Hold on. Yeah, just find out. Is it? She has a 55 gallon. They're saying it's too small.
No, she don't have the 55. She has the regular one. They're telling her she needs to get the 55 gallons.
So find out if it's a garbage can. They have a lid on it, and it's everything, but it's just a smaller size. Smaller
yeah.
size. Do they have to replace it? I don't know if I like that. I got let me check that out. First of all, she's 90. She should have whatever she wants. You know, let us look at that. Let me look at that. Okay, that's a very good point. And, go ahead, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon, Mayor Adams.
Yes.
Our concern is about the use of the scooters and motorbikes are being misused due to the driving recklessness. Mr. Mayor, what can be done about this?
Yes, I got it.
I just wanted to say also
Yeah.
that I guess she misplaced the second one. That also that the people that are riding these scooters are riding on the sidewalk.
Yes.
They're not
Yes.
rules of the road and the
Every commissioner, every town hall we go to, we hear that question. Every town hall we go to, we hear the questions about these darn scooters.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Riders are riding on the sidewalks and
are not using the bike lanes.
they're riding the sidewalks and not using the bike lanes.
Yes. So we agree 100%. After COVID, everyone started ordering their food inside. Many people didn't want to get on the subways. So we have this whole scooter boom in the city, all over the city. You have these scooters all over the city. So we took off the streets and destroyed over 130,000 of these illegal scooters, ghost cars, etc. But, you know, they like the gremlin. Every time you take one, another one comes up, you know, so it's been constant. But we have changed the law on the speed limit for them. We also have an enforcement team that's now focusing on the scooters to make sure that they're operating not on the sidewalks, not being disruptive, because it has become extremely dangerous. If you're riding down the street or walking the street or trying to cross the street. Now we're even looking at legislation that's going to require registration and insurance. Because if you're struck by one and it's not registered and no insurance, then you're left stuck with the bills. So we are zero focus on that. I told the police commissioner, I told the DOT, I told our entire team, we need to focus on these scooters because we hear it at every town hall we do, and we are on top of it. Okay? Thank you. Where am I?
Good afternoon,
Director,
Mayor Adams.
how have you doing? How are you
Oh, my
doing?
goodness. It's been years.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. We go back, what, at
Long
least 20
time.
years?
We go back as far as car seats.
Yes. My members have two questions.
Yes.
One of it is public safety.
Mm-hmm.
Can the NYPD start doing more patrolling in the area? And both walking and what?
Driving.
And driving by.
And making their presence known and felt.
Yes, love that, love that. Talk to me, Commissioner Stewart.
Yeah, definitely. I would say now that we do have cars that's patrolling, and all of us know there is a shortage of police officers. Nobody's taking the test. The mayor and I went to a graduation today. we have over 916 new cops. But sometimes you might not see the cops when they're patrolling because they're answering different jobs. So is there a certain location or a certain area that you're talking about that you don't see cops or something's going on in your community? Let us know, please, because we are here and the cops are out there and they're doing what their best. So who asked the question?
Well, this was the table. It was the table.
Was the table?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, we do have cops out there. The cops are out there. They're working hard. These cops are working 12 hours a day. They're out there protecting us. You might not see them, and there's cops that you're not going to see either, who's in playing cars. So we are out there. Maybe you just don't see them at different times.
Share what you're doing.
So you're telling us that we do have the service, both walking and driving, and making their presence felt in the community?
So now we're doing a mobile field force. Mobile field force is that we're taking a certain amount of cops and putting them in areas that crimes are happening at. I'm telling you, there's almost 2,000 to 3,000 cops all over the city in areas where we get intel from that crimes are happening. So the cops are out there.
Okay. All right.
But he's doing something additional. Talk about your seniors and older adults in precinct.
Yeah, just to tap on that. So the mayor and I go way back. 41 years of service to this city. And the mission has not changed. Public safety and community. So the mayor tasked me about 4 years ago. And his priority was older adults. His mother, she transitioned. My mother's still here. She's 87 years old. And my father was in a nursing home, and we used to go to nursing homes and watch these seniors, older adults, not get their attention that they deserved. So my mother used to go to everyone and say hi, and we used to make sure that they got the attention that they needed. So this was very personal to me. Commissioner Vasquez and I, we put together a plan in 6 months that there is a community affairs officer in every precinct for older adults. And he's here now. Ewart, everybody should know who he is. If you don't, if you don't.
He's a regular at St. Gabriel, so we know him very well.
Love that. Love that.
That is so good to hear. But also in housing, too. And in 9 PSAs, there is a community affairs cop assigned to our older adults. And we also have a crime prevention unit. And I'm so proud of her. Captain Bowden, who sits in the back, my right-hand woman. She keeps me up to date on all our crime stats and all our older adults. And this year already, we did over 2,000 crime prevention stats for older adults. My mother was scammed twice. And I tell her every day what to watch out for. The problem is that once you are scammed, you're embarrassed to report it. And I didn't find out until my neighbor told me about what my mother went through. So we're going to do a scam prevention course here on August the 14th. We have a time? 1? 12 to 1. So important, because what happens, these people are preying on you. Just like we have jobs, that's their jobs. And our job is to make sure that you are not scammed out of your money. I think my mother lost like $2,500. Somebody got a hold of her checkbook. But our job is to make sure that you feel safe too. So Captain Bowden, thank you for the work that you do. I always leave you out on those older adults, but she's a treasure. Listen, and we also do a lot of things for our youth too. Sometimes you turn on the TV and you see what our youth is doing in the street. No, our youth are doing great things in the city. The mayor also tasked me to come up with different programs for our youth. We have them doing the aviation program. I wouldn't have thought that we brought these programs to our neighborhoods. We have over 1,200 kids that signed up already, and they work with our aviation program, with our cops. And it's not even about aviation, it's about making that relationship with our youth. We also have a harbor unit with our youth. Over 1,500 youth signed up for a harbor unit. I also started a college tour where we signed up with CUNY, DOE and DYCD to help us through these college tours. So far, we took 22 schools, so over 500 kids to these colleges. And I have two daughters, and I remember when we pulled up in these colleges, they saw the campuses and their eyes opened wide. So what was missing with our kids? Transportation and opportunity, and we provided it. We also have a real estate program that we have with our kids too. Glad to tell you, our first kid, 18 years old, can sell houses now. He passed he's certified and he passed the test. So we have a lot. We have sports too, but sports is not everything. So make sure that our kids are not just dribbling the basketball. There's so many things that our youth are doing, but just to tell you, we're doing great things in our communities and for you too.
So true. And
go ahead,
brother.
I know the mayor likes this. We also do a baby shower. I don't know if you ever heard about it. We do baby showers throughout the whole city.
Thousands
for
of people.
newly mothers coming out. We have serviced over 40,000 new mothers, bassinets, PSC, prenatal and natal care, car seats, diapers. So it's been a blessing that we're able to do this. We have over probably 75 vendors who also assist us too.
Real good programs. He redefined community affairs. Now remember, he's in the police department, but he's being proactive on how we could do more for our children and families. Yes, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have another question from one of my seniors.
Yes.
He's not handicapped, but a little bit disabled.
Mm-hmm.
What he's saying about Omni, the Omni card.
Yes.
The Omni card is not in every station.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who need to pop up the Omni card,
mm-hmm.
they have to go to at least 4 stations away for the machine.
Mm-hmm.
What can be done about that?
That's very interesting.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good evening, Mayor. How are you doing?
Good,
it's a pleasure to see you today.
Thank you.
And pleasure that you have come to see Gabriel.
Yes.
For all the issue. I talk about the Omni card. Now, they come right now that all the station they have the Omni card. But now we have some people have the other card that they use for a long time. So now all the stations have the Omni card, but they don't have the machine for the metric card. So now if you have a metric card, you have to go all the way to Nevin to put money on that card. Now you have to travel, spend money to go and put the money on that card. What could we do with that? Because they had machines at Church Avenue, and there are places that people could go and put the money in the card. But now people are advanced in age, the card is not spring chicken to run to go all the place. So now you got to travel all the way to go to that place to put money in the card. What could you do with that? Be change, either put the machine back that help the people during the time, because some people have card until next year, April.
Got it.
Yes.
The mayor, we don't control the MTA. It's controlled by the state and the MTA. The mayors don't control that, and the city does. The city council is not in control of that. So city, we do not control the MTA. But that's a legitimate question, and we're going to look into it and suggest to them to make the proper modification, because you should not be penalized because they didn't build out enough. And so let us look into that. That's a great suggestion, and we will make a recommendation. Okay? We have someone on the MTA board make a recommendation. Hold on, I want to talk about the garbage cans. Who asked me about the garbage cans? Okay. So your mother can have any size container with a lid until June 2026. After that, they will be required to purchase a New York City garbage pail, which comes in 3 different sizes. We're going to change that. That makes no sense. If you have a garbage pail with a lid, we need to allow you to keep having it. I'm going to talk to the commissioner, and we're going to see about modifying that. That's a great question that you raised. Yes, I'm going to get to those. Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Hold on, I'm going to
Mayor.
come to you. I got to go to you, and I'm coming to you. But let me just let them finish the flow, and we're going to come back, okay? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
I am fine. My name is Ave Maria from the Senior Center and from the church.
Okay.
God uses whom he uses, and you're on holy space.
That's right.
So therefore, my question is, I've spoken to many seniors, and food insecurity, because of inflation and because of all the other inflations, that is now becoming unreachable. What is it that you can do to assist seniors? Because thank God for senior centers, we can get reduced meals. But sometimes we can't reach the senior center to get those meals. And some people, we have a purple pantry outside, we can't fill it enough because the need is so great. I was very grateful when I heard you were coming and when you said God uses whom he uses, and you know he feeds his people. So therefore, please see what it is you can do for and in the interest of seniors, because inflation is going to kill them. We talk about house and renting, then you have nothing left for food. So please, sir, could you see with your re-election, eminent, what you can do to save the seniors? I thank you and God bless.
No, thank you. And that's a great question. And trust me, food insecurity has been around a long time. I remember growing up as a child eating that hard cheese. You know, I didn't even know milk was liquid. I thought it was powder. And I didn't even know eggs came out of the shell. I thought it was in that brown box, you know, where you mix it up with water, you know. So trust me, mommy had to make ends meet. She worked in a daycare center, and she would bring those leftovers home. She was a food service worker, and it wouldn't stretch for the whole week. And we had to make do. That's why we're putting money into the food pantries, you know, making sure that the food pantries are doing an amazing job. You know, mayors don't control the price of bread. That's not within our scope. But, you know, like I like to say, we want to put bread back in your pockets. So we need to figure out ways using the mayor's office of being honest and saying, how do we put money back into your pocket? Like programs like DREES, SNAP, like free or reduced fare Metro card, paying for high-speed broadband. What our team did, we said, let's look over all the things that are within our span of control to say, how do we bring down the cost for you? Reducing the cost of child care from $220 a month to less than $20 a month. You know, making free after school, universal after school program. All of these things we're doing because we know we don't determine how much bread is going to cost. We don't determine how much orange juice is going to cost or whatever else that you purchase. But we can do things to put money back in your pocket. And it's wrong to promise people that you're going to get all those things free, because you're not. You know, no one is going to go to these supermarkets and say that, hey, you're going to get all of these things for free. No. Government must find ways to use what's in their power to bring down the cost of living. And so it was huge what we did in Albany. For us to get rid of all income taxes for low-income New Yorkers, that's a direct dollar back in their pockets. We raised the earned income tax credit. Each time we go to the table and say, how could we find more money instead of taking out of your pocket to put it in your pocket? And food is a major issue. And, you know, we don't want people to merely only have to wait on food pantry lines. You know, we don't want that. And that is why the call is on the state and federal level to make sure that they too find ways to put money back into the pockets of working class people. Okay? All right. Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon, Mayor. My name is Faye Hunt, and I'm from Grenada.
Grand Anse Beach is one of my favorite locations.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Falls.
Good to know. Okay, I remember St. Gabriel's Church and the center, and also I live in Canarsie. My question to you today is what sanitation and DP doing about the catch basins in the Canarsie area? Also, educating the homeowners in disposal of trash causing flooding issues in basements. That's my question today.
Yes. We mobilize during storms in particular. We go out and have a cash basin crew that goes out and clean. But we also did an initiative of, I think it was either, I don't know if I was borough president or mayor, when we went out and did the whole adopt a basis where people who live on the block will play a role in going and declogging, because the paper on the top really prevent the water from flowing, and that causes some of the flooding that we are experiencing. But if we need to go out there and do a whole nother block by block training, or go to some of the community boards, the PTAs, of declogging your cash basins are crucial, because that area is prone to flooding. And so we'll go out and do a whole nother round of series of training, hand out flyers and leaflets, and get everyone engaged, because it plays a major role during storms.
Well needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
How are you, ma'am? I was actually talking to behind you, but I do want to know how you are also.
Let him know that you can go to Walgreens and get your Metro card filled.
Okay.
And there are other places also, I don't know what they are, but maybe someone have a list of them.
We should get that. Okay, do we have the list? Okay, great suggestion. Let's get the list. You go to Walgreens. Yes.
Good evening, Mr.
How are
Mayor.
you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Quite well.
We work together, Brooklyn Borough President. When you
yes.
were Brooklyn Borough President. What are your plans to improve access to health care and mental health services for older adults in our community before we all go crazy?
Not going to happen. You want to talk about that? And we have our deputy mayor here as well. Which one? Either one of you can.
Good evening. Thank you for that question. So, as you know, under Mayor Adams, mental health is a priority, right? And so DOH is under our portfolio, so is Office of the Aging, and DOH does both physical health and mental health. So we have H&H are the biggest, best public hospital system ever. So I would say if you have a concern and you don't know where to go, our H&H locations will take anyone, regardless of income, regardless of documented status. So there really should be no access issues for older New Yorkers, but I know that the Office of the Aging is working with all the older adult centers to make sure that we have access for not only the big H&H systems, but our local clinics. So if you have a specific issue, I'm sure there's a listing that they have that we can get to you, because there should be no reason folks don't have access to health care, both physical and mental.
Well, before you do that, share some of what we're doing around mental health. 'Cause we've taken, we have not ignored the mental health issue.
Correct.
We have been very aggressive about it, and what the deputy mayor and her team, what they are doing is really going out and meeting people where they are in the subway system, on the streets. We have been extremely, extremely forward-thinking on mental health.
And really all credit to this mayor. Under this administration, when he came in office, he said, gone is the day where we walk by our New Yorker, our brother or sister who is clearly in need of support and help, and we're taking unsheltered homelessness very, very seriously. So we understand the importance of providing everyone with access to not only food and shelter, but physical and mental health care. So we have partnerships with DOHMH, NH&H, and NYPD and the MTA police to make sure that we are going out into the subways to make sure that folks who are clearly in need of support can get that health care, get that support, and we bring them in to get that support. And we're working very, very closely with our Division of Homeless Services, and we have outreach teams that go and make sure that folks who need shelter are coming in, who need health care, who need mental health care are coming into care to make sure they get that support. We do not want to see folks who are living on the street or unstably housed without access to care. There are many, many access points for folks to get that care and support.
What is the number for mental health now? Is not
988?
988. 988 is the number for if you have a loved one or family member, or if you need mental health support, 988. And we've also are doing something with our teenagers. You know, we talk about older adults, but our teenagers are really experiencing of mental health issues, of high level of depression, suicidal ideations. So we're really looking at both ends of the spectrum. It was a teen talk, right? Teen space, where they're able to use their devices to get a mental health professional to assist them. And it's really impressive how many young people are using the technology to communicate with a mental health professional. Thank you. Thank you.
What I want to add on to is that under this administration, we had mental health services in about 14 older adult clubs. Now we have an 88 older adult clubs. We negotiated with the state so that we could bring them to older adult centers. So there's 88 mental health professionals who are available. I will look at which one in this area has mental health services. Because mental health services, especially if you're an older adult, there's a lot of taboo around it. And our job is to also make it friendly with you, for you, and bring it home to what are the issues that you need to face. The council member wanted to add something too.
Of course, I'm always thinking of young people. We added 988 to schools too. We passed the legislation. So if you have any young people in your life that have suicide ideations or need mental health, you also have 988 also in school, on the school level for young kids as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. It's amazing how if we go seek medical attention for a pain we have in our side, our stomach, our back, it's okay. But when people say, listen, I have a pain in your brain, you should be comfortable enough. Yeah, you need to be comfortable enough and go and talk about it because, these are very stressful days for all of us, for one way or another. And the support is there. The support is there. Where am I? How are you, ma'am?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good to see you.
My name is Judith Gregory. I'm speaking about housing. What is affordable housing? Before you rent a place, would you suggest that they get their rental apartment history to know how much it should be? Would that make a difference? And a lot of people can't afford housing in the city. Yet, there are so many buildings going up. Why?
Yes. So if you are in a rent-stabilized apartment and a tenant moves out, that apartment can only go up a certain dollar amount. It cannot go up. If you're in a rent-stabilized apartment, a long-term tenant moves out, and the apartments in the area can go for $3,000, for example, a month for one bedroom. That landlord cannot raise the rent up to that level.
Let me ask you another question. If they told you that they renovate it,
right?
How would that? Is there a fighting or a court order or whatever you can?
There's only a certain amount they can attach to the rent on that renovation. And so if you have an apartment that you're trying to rent because someone moved out, if a rent-stabilized apartment, then you can find out what that rent is supposed to be, what you're supposed to be charged. They can't just do whatever the market can bear. They have to only increase it by a certain dollar amount.
Okay.
Okay?
And my first question.
Yes.
What is affordable housing?
Yeah, think about that, because that's a good question. Because I always hear that when people say affordable for whom? Affordable for New Yorkers. When you think about affordable, you want to know about low income, you want to know about middle income, and you want to know about market. You want to know about market. You want to know about all three of those different levels. And so what's affordable for two people who are full-time in Burger King is different from what's affordable for the teacher and the accountant, or what's affordable for the stockbroker. So what we must do, we must create an environment where everyone can live in the city. So a certain number of houses going to be apartments or units going to be for low income. some are going to be for middle income, and some are going to be high income. I'll come to you, man. Because we are losing working class people in this city. They're going to live to Jersey. They're going to live in Pennsylvania. They're going to live in Connecticut because we are not building housing on all the different levels. And so I thought the good question that was raised when it was stated that, hey, I made a certain amount, now I made too much. So we have to make sure those income bands are spread out, that we are holding on to all levels of New Yorkers. And those numbers are determined on based on the AMIs, based on what is the AMI for a particular area. That's how it's determined. Yes. Go ahead, ma'am. I saw somebody. Yes. Yes, ma'am. There's a mic right there.
I just wanted to know what is the amount that you say is low income? How much you have to be making that is considered low income?
You HPD, we have that number? You have the exact number? And it depends on what go ahead. Hold on. We got HPD in the house. So if y'all want to beat somebody else, don't do me.
That's correct, everyone. Kevin Paris, if you have housing questions, beat me up, not the mayor. Keep it. Well, beat me up with words, not with fists. I'm sorry, again, making the jokes.
She wants to know the...
Oh, yeah. So the area median income, which is what AMI is, if you're looking about 30 to 40% of the area median income would be like low income. And then as you go up the tiers, you go from extremely low to moderate to middle.
Give him
so I don't have the dollar amount memorized in my head, but definitely when I put the mic down, I'll have those exact numbers to share with folks.
You could do what is done is based on the area median income, and that may be a cost to do that. Based on that, we do a percentage of the area median income. So, for example, let's say the area median income in this area, let's say is $80,000. That's the area median income. We would do a percentage of that. A percentage of that area median income would be the low income housing. A percentage of it won't be 80,000. It'll be a percentage. It could be 30%. It could be 40%. We have some people who are making $40,000. Hold on, brother. I'll come to you. We have some people that are making $40,000 are able to move into those low income units. So it's a percentage of the area median income that we determine what is the low income. Now, here's the flip side of it. The flip side of it. Let's say we say the $100,000 is the area median income, which is high. And let's say that you could get an apartment if you make 30% of that. 30% of that. That would be low. But if you're making more than that, you're all of a sudden out of the band of the low income. So if you make it too low, you're not eligible. But if you make too much, you're not eligible. So that's why it has to be a balance. We need to do a cross section. Yeah. We need to have low income and we need to have middle income. If we have all low income, many of you may not even be eligible for it. You may make too much for low income. And that's why we need those different income bands so that we're not denying working class people housing. Go ahead, sir. You want to ask a question?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
I'm good. I would like to find out what is the poverty level in the city?
I'm sorry, the what?
The poverty level.
Property?
No, poverty.
Or the poverty.
What's the poverty level in the city? I don't, the best way to do that, we can answer that right away. DJ, can you do Chat GPT? Just ask them what's the poverty level. You know, poverty, POV. What's the poverty level? Well, did you have a follow-up? POV. POV. I don't have that question right away.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just also, I wanted to piggyback on something that the mayor said earlier, because I'm hearing a lot of comments about people talking about the number of buildings coming up in the area. I just want to reiterate, those buildings on private sites, we don't have the ability to really do the programming there. Our programs are good for on public sites, as well as those developers who need some assistance from the city, whether it's through rezoning or through it's a refinancing of their building. That's when we really have the ability to institute our programs to allow for affordable housing to happen.
So that's so what was just shared is so important because people see buildings going up, and they say there's a lot of buildings going up. So why can't we get in those buildings? Some of them are private-owned land. If they don't come to the city and say, hey, we want to build some affordable housing on the land, we want to build higher, or we need subsidies from the city to assist us in building higher, we have no control of it. You know, if just like, how many of you are property owners? Who own a house here? If you own a house, I can't come to you and say, this is how much you could charge in rent. Because you're a private homeowner, and particularly if it's not in our rent stabilization program. So that's what this country is about. Property ownership is the heart and soul of this country. And so this country is not about dictating to homeowners what are they doing to their property. Now, if she wanted to build higher than what the zoning allows, now we can negotiate and say, okay, you want to build more units on your property? You have to have a certain number of them are going to be in the affordable program. Or you may need money from us to subsidize what you're doing. We're saying, okay, you want to do that? Now you need, you're going to do a certain number of affordable units. It could be 70-30. It could be 80-20. But in some cases, it's 100% affordable. What we're doing out in Shea Stadium, 2,400 units, all of them are affordable housing. All of them are affordable housing. And so that is what this whole housing madness is. So the gentleman who asked about the poverty level, we want to just want to thank ChatGPT. You know, 40,680 for a single adult, 87,780 for couples with 2 children. This was taken in 2022. So 87,000, almost 88,000 for couples with 2 children, and 40,680 for single adults. That's the poverty level. Thanks a lot, DJ. Everybody have promise? So listen, so this magnet here is, you know, we put it on your table if you want to use it. I think it's very important. Oftentimes when emergency first responders go to your home, these basic information can save a life. Just put it right on your fridge, fill out the basic information, your full name, your emergency contact number, your primary care doctor, any chronic condition, any allergies, and any medication. This information is so powerful. You know, if for some reason that if you're unable to remember this stuff when somebody comes, a first responder, or if you're unconscious, this simple information can save lives. I got to head up to Harlem to deal with this Legionnaire's disease situation that's happening up there. We don't have any cases here in Brooklyn. They seem to be concentrated in central Harlem, and I want to go up there because people are, you know, really panicking over there. So I got to bounce.